there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we do 2 to 3 interesting stories that we find in creation or tech news out there, give you some kind of fun library fact to leave you on your day, and get you out of here in 15 to 20 minutes. Today, I have Miss Kimberly White with me here today. How are you, Miss Kimberly?
Hi, Bob. I'm good. How are you?
Life is great. Kimberly is our coordinator and with community engagement, doing all of our youth services programming, and we're going to get into that near the end of the show because we're going to quiz her all about what's happening for summer and everything that's going to be going on. So it's going to be a
And
lot of
we're
fun.
and we're cubicle neighbors, although you're in the fancy studio right now.
Yeah, I
But
get to
we
come
are
downstairs for that.
normally cubicle
Yes. Well,
neighbors.
in fact, but before the show, we were Kimberly and I were teasing each other and talking. We on Facebook, we found out that we each have a friend up in Maine that we didn't know knew each other up in Maine that quick and fast. So we were teasing over the weekend about it.
Social media.
And that's what it's all about. And speaking of which, it's not our first story, but I'm going to bring up Chrome right away here and get us started on this. Um, our first story that I wanted to talk about today was this new graphite-based sensor technology. And I know this seems kind of esoteric for a library kind of thing, but what I wanted to do was point out that this is something that is going to change everything that goes on for this for these things. Um, this is something that how your sensors work on your body. Um, Kimberly, do you use any like sensing technology stuff around for you, or do you use
Like,
just like a watch, or do you
yeah, like
use
a
any kind of
Fitbit.
those sensor
Yeah,
type?
I use a
You've got
Fitbit
those?
because I'm not I was joking earlier today. I'm afraid I'm going to lose an Apple Watch, so I use a Fitbit. So
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah, a
yeah.
little different
I,
investment level, you know.
I go with a little bit of a with the standard barely smart watch of tracking my steps and stuff because the battery life. I don't want to take a watch and have to recharge. I can worry about enough on all those other things. But they so what this does is Putty allows them, instead of that thin foil that's in those devices, this is something that you can just build your device right into this Putty and then use it right on the skin to train and do. So it's a really nice way of making it um, much more durable, so it doesn't tear and break as easily. And it turns out they're 50 times more sensitive than those current sensors that we have out there.
A little different from the silly putty when we were kids, huh?
Yeah, not quite. I know.
Ooh, like
And
fancy silly putty.
it's super fancy.
Yeah.
And this can be 3D printed. So you can go out and print this with any kind. Yeah, if you've got the right kind of 3D printer, you can print this into any shape or size that you need out there in the field anywhere. So if you're using this to check for heartbeat, for example, one of the things that's these really do get used for is for using them for in sensor for stroke victims to see if they're swallowing properly and things. So you could actually take this
Oh,
putty
that's
and
fascinating.
print it and slap it onto somebody's neck and be able to check a stroke victim while you're out there in an ambulance somewhere.
Wow. So that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, so it's reusable? How often can you use it before you have to? I mean, I guess that's what they're testing, right?
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's what they're testing on now. Yeah, they've got the proof working. We usually on this show, if you haven't been following us, we never talk about things that are maybe going to happen. Everything that we talk about is something that's actually there. So there's people working on this as a real product, making it play with it. And this G putty, as they call it, is blended with real silly putty, by the way, into making it into an ink
yeah,
that they can print out. Isn't that weird? Just that
crazy.
fast and easy. Yeah.
And then it gets sent to a device or something. I mean, I really
Yeah,
don't
it's
understand the
yeah, it's
science of
no,
this.
it's because what happens is they print the circuits inside of this, and so it can connect directly to that little box that you could draw, use in the ambulance and do that. So you could actually wrap this putty right around somebody's neck and track that victim, whether they're choking or not, and monitor all that stuff and leave it on there while they're being transported or even in the hospital and stuff. So it's a really nice background upgrade to our medical technology that probably, nobody, this is not going to make the major news stories yet. 5 years from now, when you hear about this, just remember where you heard about this the first time.
Because Bob from the future is always on the cutting edge.
We try to be. We try out there. And speaking of that cutting edge idea, so Twitter is now moved into the whole audio spaces thing. If over the last few shows, we've been talking about Clubhouse, the audio version that's came out. It's an iOS only device right now. And everybody's been putting out a thing to try and beat them out. Well, Twitter beat everybody to the punch and got out with what they call spaces. And the two things that they did with this that make it a really interesting idea for me, and that social media idea, is one, they're allowing, this is already on Android, already on iOS, so anybody can use it on any phone. There's a web version supposedly about to hit any day. And everybody can use it. If you have 600 followers on Twitter, you automatically have this added to your ability to do things, to be able to host these and do that kind of small stuff like that. So here in the library, we could take our Twitter page and we could do a small little Clubhouse, a little chat room for summer learning programs or something like that, and talk to people on Twitter about here's what's going on and this, that, the other. But the really nice thing about this and why this is such a different step than Clubhouse did, because Clubhouse has been around for over a year now. They are just now getting to the idea. Yeah, and somebody in our chat just says Clubhouse is huge. Yeah, the problem with Clubhouse being huge is they haven't been innovating as fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have not found a way for people to make money on it, where Twitter has found a way for people to make money on their rooms already.
Yeah, I saw they were going to start doing ticketed pricing or something on the Spaces one. Also, the other thing was, why isn't Clubhouse live captioning? That seems like that was the other thing that Spaces can do that Clubhouse isn't doing, is live captioning. That seems like
accessibility is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And see, everybody, this is Kimberly works in a library. We all think about that. First thing first is, what kind of accessibility do we have for everybody? And a year in, Clubhouse still doesn't have closed captioning.
Yeah. I just feel like so many people.
Anything.
I feel like so many people use captioning on so many things now. I mean, I don't watch a TV show without captioning anymore. I just feel like it adds another layer of being able to really, sometimes people speak fast, or you might be missing what they're saying, let alone the people who need it to communicate. But yeah, so I was surprised to see that. The other thing is, I mean,
by the way, we do transcripts for this show. We just have it turned on, so it's automatic. Everybody has to have access to it.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, Bob, is for Clubhouse, so you're kind of like building your audience all over again, right? Because you're sharing it, and then you have to, but with Twitter, if you've already have your audience built, right? It's already just,
it's right there. Boom,
just
you can do
more
it.
sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see more of these, right?
Yeah, Facebook's got their things have been going on, and they've been doing rooms on Instagram for a long time. You can do Instagram Live for a couple of years now. One of the bands I followed, every Wednesday night, they've been doing little get-togethers where they just show off and just hang out and see a practice session or whatever on Wednesday nights. So there's a lot of stuff like that that can happen. But yeah, I was just really amazed how long it took Clubhouse just to even get to where they are now. And Twitter was just like, snap their fingers and like, okay, here's what a real social media company does. Click, we give you everything all at once. So.
Yeah. I was just reading a little bit more about so it's like similar to Patreon. Yeah, you always hear that people are trying to get funding and then they have to kind of push them to other places. So yeah, it's smart. I guess we'll see. We'll see how it plays
Patreon's I follow a lot. I put a moderate amount of money into Patreon every month for a couple of different artists that I follow, and people who are doing their scholarship stuff there too. So yeah. And that also leads us, we mentioned Instagram there, that leads us over to Facebook banning Signal. So we've come full circle on all of our social media today. Signal, which is the secure, Signal is a secure messaging platform. We did a show on this back beginning of the year. when there were some breakdowns in some other social media systems. They put out a series of ads, and I've got these up here on the screen for you to see. They went to Instagram and put ads on Instagram based on the data they could get about you from Facebook. So
Mm-hmm.
they could target an ad directly to you.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this center one here where you got this ad because you're and it only went to teachers who are a Leo and are single and
Right.
have put a location of Moscow, and you like sketch comedy, and they're guessing you're into drag at the same time. So
That
some
is
of
so
these ads,
scary. Yeah.
I know.
It's so much info. That is so much information about a person right there.
And and that's how close they could target people with ads. Now, guess what happened to this ad?
Right.
Kimberly
Got banned.
knows. They got banned. Facebook
Mhm.
banned these ads before they only bought 600 of them, and they couldn't even get all 600 out in time before they got banned from the platform entirely of
Mhm.
ever doing ads.
Because it was gonna
uh,
change the face. That was gonna, I mean, I think it was gonna change a lot if these,
yeah.
I don't know. I think that, if you saw Social Dilemma, right? Was that
Yep. Yep.
so if you saw Social Dilemma, you have you probably were like pretty, I don't know, I was pretty disturbed after watching it, right? But you kind of then go back along your life and you forget that every time you click and, they're collecting all this info
Mm-hmm.
about you and then you know, the algorithm, all the
Yeah.
targeted things. So I think it's pretty easy to kind of like go along for me anyway, to go along my life and forget that,
Yeah.
yeah, what I'm seeing is specifically, but yeah, these. So how long did it last? Like when they say immediately, like
With
an
it, I think it
hour,
was
a
with
day?
no. Oh, no, no, no. I think it was with it somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 minutes.
Oh my
They only
gosh.
bought 600 ads, and they couldn't even get all 600 ads posted before they got banned.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't know, Bob. It's a little disturbing.
it is. We're not
Because
trying to scare anybody off. You're gonna do these things. And oh, by the way, if you're out there and you say, "Oh, I'm not on Facebook, they're not tracking me," I'll put you in touch with my wife, who believes that also, and she totally freaked out when she got an ad on her website about a graduation gift that she thought she was looking up somewhere else for a niece, and all of a sudden, bang, here's an ad
Mhm.
for graduation gifts when she hasn't even told them she has a niece, but it said your niece is graduating soon and here. So yeah,
Yeah.
they know you. They know. The
Yes.
algorithm knows, and it's a question of trying to be as much in control of it as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say after that.
Oh, there's nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
It's a very scary idea sometimes. But that's also why we're here. We're trying to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on and make sure that people, pay attention to the news, and it's not all scary, horrible stuff. And you do get some interesting perspective out there. Thank you very much for being here, Miss Kimberly. I know
Oh, it
you
was
have
fun, Bob. I
you've
was a
you've
little,
had a
I was a
huge
little unsure,
problem today.
even though I see you all the time, I wasn't sure I wanted to, have our conversation live in front of.
Oh, it works great. I love doing this,
So
having these
I have a big
conversations with you.
problem today. Is that what you started to say?
I was saying I feel like I caused you a problem today. I yanked you out of all of your work that you've been doing. So tell everybody, because
Oh,
we casually
well,
mentioned this early,
yeah.
but Kimberly is the person in charge of the summer learning program for Broward County Libraries for all of this. So tell us what's going to be going on this year.
So this summer, it's our summer learning program is called Tails and Tales, and we have 37 branches, so it's definitely a team effort of all of our branches participating. And you're going to pull up our little summer page there, right? So
Yep.
you can get
So
all
right here
the
on the
info.
main highlight here, you can come right here to highlights when you come to the
Hmm.
library page, and you'll see all these things, how to pre-register and all these here. Here is the site for you.
So you know, back back in the day, all of our branches were doing all these events and workshops in person, and we're still doing our programming online. And then, so we have a really wonderful lineup of all sorts of really cool things all summer long that have to do with animals. So we have wildlife conservation talks from zoos and um, all sorts of organizations in South Florida and then across the country, which is the cool part about doing an online program. We have author visits. We have, oh, Jackson Galaxy, the cat daddy and the kitten lady.
Ooh,
They're both coming in
nice.
July. So it's really fun. So we have the events and the workshops, and then we also have the reading awards. So we use a product called Beanstack. Um, which is our reading software that our local school district also uses. So students can link their accounts together and track their books and then count it for school and for public library. And yeah, it's busy. So we're busy like packing up all the gifts and the prize packs,
Yeah,
and so lots of hands today. So
that's a
um
very good thing.
yeah, it's fun.
It's a
I
lot
can't
of fun,
believe
and
it's
if
already here,
and
you
I
know.
do not mean to meant to imply that this is only for kids. This is we
No,
have a full adult thing going on with all of the summer learning program too.
all
So
ages.
yeah, make sure you come and hit us up for that. You can be on Beanstack. You can go add all your books. You can add all of your activities. We're doing lots of other programming. We're doing
You can
our
register a
roll-ups. Yeah,
family, and yeah, it's a really cool
yeah.
software. You can register a family. They have an app. You can scan your books that you read. And then we're doing free lunches at 13 of our locations too. So we're doing summer break spots, and we're sticking with the grab and go model for this summer. So families with kids 0 to 18 can come to one of our 13 branches which were listed on the website. And on that day and time, you come and you can pick up a box of food. It's like frozen meals, 7 breakfasts and 7 lunches. We're doing that all summer. And
Yeah,
so
and
you can
that's a
just have
great
some
thing. Yeah.
extra food in the freezer, and yeah, we're really happy to be doing that. And so I think it's going to be a really fun summer. But I can't believe it's already here. Feels
I
like
know.
we've been planning
Doesn't
it
it
for so long, Bob, right? We've been having
doesn't it
our
feel like the
planning meetings.
last one just ended?
Yeah.
This whole time violation thing, we got to
Yeah.
one of us has to fix that problem. How's fixing that as a problem would be a nice thing to do, right?
Yeah. I'll leave it to you.
I yeah, we'll try that. Let's pop this up here at the end for us here. So thank you very much, Miss Kimberly, for being with us today. And everybody, if there's any librarian that you'd like to see or library that you want to see hosted on one of the future shows, come grab us, creationstation@broward.org. Thank you all very much for being here today with us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Bob. Bye.